So I'm doing a video on FX Oasis cable rails. Here's the rails that we've taken out. And I'll show you down here, my shadow. It's all rotten, needed to be replaced. Pulled those out. I'll show you what I've done over here. Had to do the framework. Put these 4x8 blocking in there. Kind of hard to see here. Some big timber screws into it, and underneath are the angle brackets from Simpson, put in with screws. Replaced the fascia boards, all new fascia boards along there. They were beat up from the weather. And I've put this blocking under the foot, and it's just a piece of composite decking, and spaced it up because this customer's thinking in a few years, and when he replaces this deck, we won't have to pull all the rails up and undo all the cables. So that was the idea on how to do it so the blocking under it wouldn't rot out. Got the big long timber screws down into the 4x8. And as you can tell, I've had to shim it up to get it plumb. And now I gotta fill in this last board that goes here. This board. So I'm going to line up my board with the existing deck board. Makes it easier this way. And then I'm going to scribe this using my square, lining it up with the edge of the other board. So, mark it. That's the easiest way to do it. You don't have to bother with trying to measure and everything. And now, I'm going to need this to be cut right on a joist. And so in this case, I am going to cut it splitting this joist in half. You need at least 3/4 inch bearing. Using my 3/4 inch bearing. Now I'm going to move the board out of the way. I'm going to measure with my spacer. These are pretty neat deck spacing, deck boards, or deck squares for using for your decks. This side has a 1/4 inch spacing. It's thinner, you can see, and this one is a 3/16 spacer to thicker. I'm using the 1/4 inch on this one. For spacing, you always want to space between deck boards to allow the moisture to dry out, or your boards will rot faster. Even pressure treat. And 3.5, so I'm going to go 3 5/8. I'm going to double check with the other side. like a glove, just what I want. Now, let's go down here so you guys can see how I screw this in. I've pre-drilled the ends. Always, let me get this spacer out because I want to get these exactly lined up. You can also see on the edge of my board, I like to take the sander and just sand that edge down just really quick. Just a quick bump with the sander, gets the little splinters off. What I'm thinking in my case is if this was my deck, I'd want to be able to walk out here with just socks on and not worry about little splinters getting stuck in my socks. I know this is like one new board on a whole deck, but that's just the practice I like to have. Now, I'm going to go along and I'm using the 1/4 inch side of the spacer. I'm going to go along and set screws that'll hold my joists. I like to kind of keep things looking straight. If I'm doing an entire deck, I'll actually use my square, but this is just going up on a existing deck. But if you do use a square like that to find your edge, it makes a nice cleaner look to it in your deck. All the screws are lined up. It looks nice and sharp. But for this one, I'm just eyeballing. And I'll just go on down and show you how I do my spacer. Probably a good time to show you guys. I've got built-in knee pads in these pants. Of course, it's getting worn through. But to protect my knees, that's how I can work all day on the knees on something like this. Okay, now let me show you what we got going on here. This is my spacer block, and we got to make this board. And it's going to be an interesting shape, as you can see. Just like I had to fill in this piece and this little piece and cut that interesting shape. So that's what I'm going to work on now. Okay, now we will start by working this board, get it lined up where the other board is. Remember, you always want that gap. Always have to have a gap so that things can dry out. And if you're in an area where there's lots of needles and from pine trees and fir trees, leaves, you need the bigger gap. That would be this side of the square, and I'm using this one. But you need that gap around your edges and around posts, so forth, so that the moisture can then dry out. Leaving just that little bit of space. Now, I'm going to measure what my depth will be. This one's a little bigger. 3 3/4. It's going to be hard to do this one. Okay, now I'm going to measure my side A. Side B is a little longer, 3 inches. Side B, that. Side A seems to be smaller. I don't think I got this right. Mark there. Whole depth should be 2 inches. 2 inches. I don't know. me try something else. I don't want to cut that yet and have it wrong. Okay, I think I got it close now. Side's 2 7/8. This side be closer to 3. Yeah, close to 3. And about real close to 2 7/8. My side A, my side B, side C. Remember high school geometry? Hey, I'm actually using it in real life purpose. Okay, got that pretty close, but let me show you what's going on here. I've got a gap there. I'm too tight right here, so we need to just shave a little bit off there, which means we would also need to shave a little bit off of this side. So it can go that way. All right, I'll do that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Tight down there now. A little shadow from the sun. Now, I think I like that. Tight there. I am going to take my pencil and scribe under there. Okay, I scribed underneath with my pencil on the angle edge of the deck. That makes it easier because you can see there's the line on the board. So typically this is supposed to be a 45-degree angle on this deck going out to there, but it's not exactly. If it was a 45-degree, then you'd cut this. When I made that, it's supposed to be 22.5, but 22.5 didn't quite work. It was more like 23 on one side and 20.5 on the other. So it's not exactly the 45-degree. You know, things over time change, or people don't build things exact. And this was someone else's used deck, so that's what we go by. So it's easier just to scribe the line. Easiest way to do it, and I don't have to try to figure out the angle. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys what I got going on here. I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to cut it on the line, but I end up with a little thin piece here that it could easily break off. This could break off, so I'm going to be really cautious. And I will pre-drill a hole into this first for my screw, because if I do it afterwards, it could be easy to break off. One of my pet peeves is sawdust inside a case. I accidentally left that open. I used to hate it when my workers would do that, leave it open. And now everything, dirt, debris, it'd start raining, you get rain on it. Ugh. All right, let me show you one other thing I'm doing. When I am pre-drilling the ends, I drill my hole at a slight angle because we only have 3/4 inches of a joist for it to hit. So I slightly angle the hole, makes it so it angles in toward it. Not too much or you come out the edge of your board, but you know, just about right. Okay, cut it off, got my holes pre-drilled. Used a clamp to help hold it down. Didn't want this thing to drop and break. I'm going to sand the underside of this edge and go see how everything looks. Interesting looking piece of wood, and we'll see how it fits. Down here, close to the edge. Hope those of you that are afraid of heights aren't freaking out. That's down there a ways. Give you a see how high up we are. There's the roofs of the houses down below. Up here a ways. Anyways, back to it. I think it's gonna be good. Got a little bit of a bigger gap than I wanted on the back side of that post, but you know what? As I say, you can't see it from my house. Speaking of my house is way over there. That off in the distance is, we're looking at Bald Peak right there. Little hill sticking up. And way on the other side of that, I see that way off in the distance from my house. About an hour drive from here. So I don't think we can see this from my house, so I think we're okay. All right, that'll do it for the wood. So, oh wait, no, I got one more piece of wood to do. No, I gotta wait on that one. I can't do with that one yet. That'll be it for the wood. I'm going to do the rails next, so let's clean up. Getting this little blower was awesome. I've been doing this for almost 30 years and I finally just got one last year. Don't know why I didn't have one earlier. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's always nice to have a clean job site. When you get on to the next step, which is rails, and in a second here I'll show you the last of what we got with the wood, and we're going to move on to the cable rails. Always have to remember to charge batteries. That one's green, it's good. This one full and showing full charge. Batteries charged. Always got to remember to have batteries charged, so when you run out there's always good ones. So when it comes time to set those two posts, I got some blocks of wood right here ready to screw in there, little pieces, and then I have to make the other ones, and then there'll be another post there to finish it up. And then, as I said before, the far end there, that whole rail section needs to be pulled out, and then I got to do the blocking under the deck and all that. When I do that, I'll show you how I do that. And for now, you can see the old deck. They didn't have the most perfect cuts on the edge, so it's not too worried, but I think we did pretty good. So next video, we'll be moving on into the rails. So when it comes time to set those two posts, I got some blocks of wood right here ready to screw in there, little pieces, and then I have to make the other ones, and then there'll be another post there to finish it up. And then, as I said before, the far end there, that whole rail section needs to be pulled out, and then I got to do the blocking under the deck and all that. When I do that, I'll show you how I do that. And for now, you can see the old deck. They didn't have the most perfect cuts on the edge, so it's not too worried, but I think we did pretty good. So next video, we'll be moving on into the rails.